What is up, Afterbuzzers? Welcome back to another Jett After Show. Today we're going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 8, Dillon. We're talking about remodeling. We're talking about revenge, and we're talking about renting houses. Plus, we have a very, very special guest. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to Afterbuzz TV, the ESPN of TV Talk. Now, look.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to our penultimate episode of Season 1 of Jett. We got here so fast, guys.
We did.
Too fast.
It's a crime.
But
You guys are welcome.
You're full of them today.
Yeah. As always, I'm your host, Taylor Gates. I have a full house tonight. I have a stacked panel. To my left, I have the wonderful Jackie.
Hey, Jackie Ray, y'all. You got to keep them straight on this panel. Just fun fact.
Keep it straight. Undercover. Jackie Nova.
Mm-hmm.
And just me, Tatiana Mariesa.
Oh, wow. We also have another person joining the names. You know, we can't get enough of them here. We have a special guest. Gentry White is in the house.
Hello.
Obviously, he plays Junior on the show. Yes. Sorry, Charles Jr. Don't really want to get...
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Can we just call him Junior?
Before he shoots us?
You can call me Junior.
We gotta watch your back here, you know?
I know, right?
Keep it straight. It's Junior.
Did anybody pat him down before he came in here?
Yeah. I got henchmen for that.
Guys, I am so excited for this episode. Not only are we going to be breaking it down, we're going to be having a wonderful interview segment with our special guest. We have some awesome news for you guys, and yeah, it's going to be amazing. So let's just dive right in. What were your guys' overall thoughts on this episode?
He deserved it. You see, I'm making eye contact.
Oh, aggressive. Like I just got here. Wow.
Yeah, that was my overall impression. You know, aside from that, I think Jackie living through it was disappointing. My namesake lived through it, and I was sort of disappointed with that.
You were sad that he lived through it?
I mean, when you walk into hell, you're not supposed to walk out. That's just not how that's supposed to go.
I feel like he was justified, though. You know, like
I'm not
he
saying
did what
that.
he came to do. I'm glad that he's alive.
Are you?
He kind of doesn't have anything to live for. He's kind of depressed.
But he's a done
once
deal.
he gets past that,
He's a cheater. He's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's guns blazing, it's killing. Oh, my. I mean, I'm not really thrilled. And I still have some hope that I know the gunshot went dead in his, but there is hope that he's in a coma, damn it, because he is just too devilish. And I love his character.
Everybody on this panel like hopes people are alive. And
I know it never happens.
We're
for
like,
us.
We don't know that for sure. We don't know that for sure.
No, I'm glad, and I'm sorry, Jody. Yeah, you know, Josie. I'm glad she had what she had coming.
Okay, so did Jackie.
Oh.
Jackie.
So they
takes
were
two
just
to tango.
lovers. They were just lovers that were destined to die.
Hey,
Yes.
Romeo and Juliet.
Well, in so many ways.
What did you think about this episode initially when you were reading it, and then how did this feel the film?
Reading it, I was shocked because Sebastian wrote all the episodes, and so we were able to actually read all of them before we even started shooting.
Oh, okay.
Which was really cool. That's something I actually haven't been able to experience so far, but reading it, I remember asking Sebastian, I was like, how did you know I was going to be able to do this? You know what I mean? Because by this episode, I was like, oh, this was a lot going on. Like, I get a chainsaw? I remember saying that. I was like, I get a chainsaw? And he was like, yeah. You know, and so then obviously by the time that I die, by the time that I die, I was like, that scene was very intense because everybody on the show, for the most part, was in the room, you know, and it was a lot going on, and I was supposed to be coked out, and so that was a lot. Like when I read it, you know, I was like, I've never done coke. I was like, so I'm gonna try to pull this from somewhere and figure it out. But it honestly was one of the most fun scenes that I did. I was like, I lost my voice doing it. We shot it for hours.
Oh, I knew you must have shot it for hours.
Shot that
I was like,
scene
man,
for
his voice sounds a
hours.
little extra raspy.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
That's the best, though.
Well, and
That's
the
amazing.
interesting thing is like when I shot the show, I actually am in vocal therapy right now because I lost my voice doing a different show a couple years ago, and it never recovered properly. And so I've actually been having like some crazy vocal issues going on. So my mom, when she watched it, she was like, I could hear it. She's like, I could hear that raspiness or whatever. And I was like, I kind of like it.
How'd you get so comfortable with that chainsaw though?
Stunt team.
Okay.
Yeah, like there was a whole day before that I think I was playing with the chainsaw, and he was showing me what to do, and they had a real one and they had a fake one, and he showed me how to crank it up, and it was awesome. It was fun. Yeah.
Did you feel crazy?
I did feel crazy.
Because you pulled it off.
And I love feeling crazy. Like I remember whenever I did the scene with the chainsaw, I remember that he was like, I want for you to come out of the train, because we were in a train station shooting that scene, and he was like, I want for you to get off the train, and that's when the scene will start right from there. And I was like, I feel like my hair should feel a little crazier, and so I just like started pulling at my hair and stuff before I got out of the train, and I was like, I just want to feel as crazy as I can, you know, because it's coming from nowhere essentially, you know what I mean? But I kind of built upon the things that I kind of studied, and as I had worked on the character, I was like, I kind of built upon that, and I think it worked.
Totally.
It definitely works.
It definitely works.
Yes.
We never look at Hangman the same.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not playing this game with you.
You look like a complete psychopath.
Yeah, it was great.
Dead on.
Speaking of that chainsaw, though, that's kind of, I thought it was so funny that we started the episode with the home renovations with Morea hearing it. I was like, I'm having PTSD. Like, I don't want to listen to this. I love how they bookended the last one and, like, open it. Like, I think, like, the small little...
The transition
Easter
editing
eggs
is
are so smart.
really nice.
So great.
It's cool
but-
that you noticed that too.
Yeah.
Sebastian
Yeah.
puts a lot of like time and energy into all those small details, and I think it's really cool. It's really special to be a part of something that, the body of work is so tight and together, and yeah, I'm really grateful.
I thought your character specifically, because I had a very much a hate relationship with your character, but in a love-hate almost, because when there was that scene when Josie comes to the church and you're telling your boyfriend like, she's a cop, and I'm like, yeah, like, hey, listen to him.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was that point where it was like, I was 100% on your side, like, you getting us caught up, you doing too, you know what I mean? But then the very next scene, it's like, you didn't have to hit him, no?
I smacked
You
him.
didn't have to hit him,
I
no.
smacked him.
It was like this love-hate relationship with
I broke
you.
his phone. I smacked
Yeah.
him.
Awful.
I mean, just use your words.
Use your words. Junior don't use his words.
Junior is a spoiled brat.
He needed some real therapy.
Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit about Phoenix and Morea before we get into like the actual, I would say main meat of this episode.
Yes.
But I did really like the subplot that was coming, going on between them. We have them doing home renovations next door, which we find out is Jett's money that she has hidden there, which I thought was
Hilarious.
genius.
Yeah,
but
it
also
was
was like, honey, like they could do renovations at any time. You realize
But
that.
what if the owners of the home found it?
Exactly.
Like randomly,
Right.
What
Money
do you do
gone.
then?
Move.
Move.
Taking this money me out.
I'd be afraid to take it. Somebody's gonna come after me. I don't know where it's been. Like,
Right.
No.
You don't even know where it came from, so it's like...
Yeah.
I ask no questions. How much is it? Let me get a counter.
But I love how we have, we see more of Phoenix and Morea, which I think is really cool. I just really love their relationship. I think it's so interesting and sort of unexpected. But there's obviously love there, which is really.
Oh, it is, yeah, because she even mentions, I trust you. Like, we trust you? Because she's just like, $62,000? What? Yeah, we trust you.
Yeah.
I thought that was like the second step of their initiation, because Jett came in and she was like, well, how much is in the bag? Phoenix was like, how much is in the bag? And Jett was like, well, this is how much it is. Why don't you go get a house for us? Like, now she's doing work for Jett beyond just watching her kid.
Yeah.
So she's like,
But I loved
official.
Phoenix's reaction at that moment. Like, you can't just tell, like, do we need a pool? Do
Yeah.
we need the 4-car garage? What we need in this house? I need direction.
That's like me though. Like if everything else is going on that's like actually so intense, but it's like, but do we want a pool? Like I don't want to mess this up for you guys. Like this is so important.
Is a jacuzzi essential?
Yeah. I could see you doing that too. Like, we'd be like,
I
just get
would.
a house. She'd be like, okay. But do we need a pool?
We have our own Phoenix here. There you go.
It's actually so true.
I mean, but how lovely, the little flashing. I love that because you know
She
what?
committed.
Those construction workers fall for that
She
all the time.
committed.
She committed big time.
But you know what? The boobies saved her in the end.
Right.
Yes,
They saved her.
Yes. And you got to stick with what you're good at.
Yeah.
You know, she been a hoe a long time. So she got to stick with what you're good at.
It worked.
It's true that we predicted, I think a couple weeks ago, at least last time I was here, I was like, Neil is not gone for good. Like, he's obviously coming back in some way or the other. And so I do love that. I mean, I kind of, like, the first time I've ever really predicted anything on this show was when she was packing. I was like, they would not just show some packing sequence. Like, someone's coming in.
But it's the way they shot it, too. Like, with the corners, like, following her. And I was like, somebody's going to jump out. Somebody's coming at the corners. And they're
that bothered me, though. It's like, you got all this money in the bag. Girl, grab the bag. Let's go. You can buy new clothes. You
that
take it too long.
That was driving me nuts. I was like, that was the first thing you should have grabbed.
Right.
That would have been attached to my waist.
Wasn't the bag hidden? Like, he found it, and that's why it was on the couch? Or has it just been on the couch with nobody home?
I don't know. I just know that packing scene took a long time. Like, I don't even pack that long in real life.
Right.
So.
But then, yes,
Scared me.
we have, you know, the gardener, the construction workers, and they came and saved her, which I was like,
it's the boobies. They're magic.
It is the boobies.
Remember that when we asked you to wear that bustier.
What do I get?
I don't know. Construction workers that will save your life at some point.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Sebastian, we should be in your next when you do season 2.
Your audition, I love it. Before we get into the Charlie and Junior of it all, because that was that was an interesting part of this episode. Jackie, can you tell us a little bit what's happening here at Afterbuzz TV?
I can, because as you can see, we are having so much fun. We have wonderful people that drop in on us that don't mind when I give them a harder time, and that's all because of Afterbuzz TV, because they really are here, the ESPN of TV talk. If you love to watch it, we love to talk about it. Anything you love to talk about, just make sure you watch it here and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because we need your help to make this grow. And of course, to do that, we need you to tell other people. And it's going to be a good time for you. You never know who's going to drop in. You never know what you might see. Also, make sure you follow us in the chat. Talk to us in the chat. If there's something you do want to see that we're not covering, let us know, because we in here. We can mention it for you. But whatever you do, like I said, just make sure you follow us, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, hit that notification bell so you are notified every single time we have a new video for you right here on Afterbuzz TV.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
Speaking of people dropping in,
Bam! We have transition there.
What's up?
we have Charlie dropping in on Jett, which I don't think is a very common thing that happens. So I was like, ooh, this is sketchy. Like, I am worried for everyone involved here.
And she knew it right away, too.
She did.
Knew it right away.
And they had like the most tension-filled car ride I've ever seen in my life. Tatiana, what were you thinking during that?
I just wanted her to jump out of the car. Just jump out the car.
I'm getting car sick.
Yeah, and she was trying to get him to say, what do you know that I don't? Like, please tell me why I'm here. Because I'm sure she's just thinking, are you going to kill me? It's not going to be that easy. Like, maybe I should have brought that gun that I left at home. You know, all these things that she was thinking. So,
do you think if he would have got right to it and said, this is what I think you did, your name was the first name that came up, and then she had told him, you know, what his son was involved in, do you think he would have believed her?
No, I think his mind was already made up.
No, because he's never gone to her house. That minute that I saw that he was the one at the other side of the doorbell, I was like, oh, Lord. The same thing Jett was thinking, like, she's hit. Like, this man, that's it. He does not trust me anymore. So now I am going to have to. That's why she grabbed that gun. And then she was just like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? And then, oh, my God. I was like, that car ride is going to be weird and uncomfortable. I know I was uncomfortable. I was like, oh, my God.
Because they obviously care for each other.
They
so now
do.
there's
Yes.
this moment of, did you betray me? Are you going to shoot me?
But I think Charles is done. Like, once the betrayal is on the table, that's it. Like, he's not going to kill her, but I think he's definitely going to stop messing around with her.
Thankfully / not thankfully, we're kind of interrupted in that car scene because Charlie's wife is calling, and I love
like
it. I hate it. He's like, why would I want to talk to her?
It's so terrible.
Damn.
But at least he was smart for us. Is she on mute? Can she hear me right now? Because I want to say this, if she can hear me.
I did not expect his wife to look like that.
I know. She's going to be this big, overweight.
I thought I didn't expect what came around the corner.
I mean,
I was
she's
like,
a
is this his
beautiful
daughter?
younger woman. Yeah, I thought it was his daughter.
Yeah.
Too. I was like, how are you cheating on her?
Yeah,
She's
I had to
beautiful.
hit pause. I'm like, is that Junior's sister?
Yeah.
Who is this woman?
You can see why Junior don't really mess with his daddy like that. Because it was like, look at these tricks you over here playing and flipping around.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, did Jett come in the room? But then I was like, your wife is over here my age.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And she's mad cool with it. Like, our one agreement is don't bring your hoes to the house.
Period.
That's one agreement.
She's his lawyer. Okay.
She says, "Are you sleeping with him?" She goes, "Are you?" I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that was good. I'm gonna write that down."
I know, right? Snap. Things not to say if you want to live, right?
And then we have Junior coming in, which performance was just incredible.
Oh,
right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It was
Just
awesome.
busting in there.
Yeah.
Like a caged animal almost.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, whoa. And he's off the rocker right now. But kind of rightfully so, I guess, if you're in his position, because obviously one of his men has been killed like right outside of his house, which like, yikes, I think that's even more of like a sign of disrespect if it's just like right on your property. And obviously we as viewers know that this was Jackie, but I kind of liked watching it, like them not
Unfold.
knowing, but us, sort of knowing. Jackie, what do you think about
I
that?
loved how Sebastian shot those scenes because, yes, we knew it was Jackie. Nobody else knew. And it was just so intense. I mean, it kept you like on the edge of your seat. And I loved how insane. I mean, that's Academy Award winning right there. Like, holy
Oh, wow.
Christ, Gentry,
Wait a minute.
you brought
It was like
that
speaking
heat.
into existence.
Right.
You know?
You brought the heat. I was like, it doesn't even matter if in the beginning we were just like, man, this dude is a spoiled brat. He is nuts. He's off his rocker. But you need that type of character. You need that element in a movie. Well, it was shot like a movie. That's why I keep saying a movie. But a TV show, it is so badass the way they shot him, man. And then they just got Carl, and I don't think he's dead. And then they got, oh, man. Oh, my Lord have mercy. This was such a scene. And when Jackie walks in because they got him.
Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
there was-
Did you see how Jett was like when she heard Dillon?
She was like, "Crap."
Yeah.
I thought it was
I love the eye that don't say nothing.
Yeah.
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 I like how Charlie automatically blames everything on Salas all the time. And Jackie starts to say something about Salas. And then Junior just goes ham on him, just goes in on him because obviously he doesn't want him to know. Even though Jett already said it.
Yeah, but he's not. That's the other thing. Again, there's a love-hate relationship with your character because there's so much realism. There's stuff in this, like when the brother was parked across the street, I'm like, nobody saw him. And then when they killed your boy outside, I live in a neighborhood, nobody saw nothing. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and the way you delivered it was like very real. And the slyness. So that was one of the things I wondered. Did you develop a backstory in your head about your relationship with your dad, because he clearly loves you and wants the best for you, but you playing it all the way to the left?
Well, for me, reading it felt like he wasn't even my father.
Oh wow!
Like it felt like if he was my father, it had to have been when I was younger, if anything, because like me as an adult, it felt like we were just two separate people. But at the same time, I also felt this like there was like a childishness about him. But he had money, so he was like a crazy like kid that was a brat in so many ways. But I was like, but he had money, and so that can be scary, And I do feel like the relationship between Charles Jr. and his dad was interesting because Charles Jr. makes such a point about his name, that he shares with his dad, and I was like, and I felt like there's clearly something that Jr. is like troubled about, and then the fact that like the thing with the mom, like his mom hasn't been around and everything, and so it's just been his dad, but then you can see him and his dad's relationship is almost one of strangers in a sense. And so then like having this like younger wife, and there was just a lot of resentment I felt like that Junior needed to display, but also as if he was trying to like win his dad's affection,
Right.
in a way. And so it was like that sort of balance was really interesting to try to find. And Giancarlo makes it easy.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah.
Well, it feels almost like a grooming in a way too, because when it's like very business oriented,
Yeah.
because especially when we were watching this scene, he's like, well, if he left this note on the car, it's obviously not, he's not professional. Like, this was obviously personal. So he's kind of trying to guide him, but like in a very skewed way.
Yeah.
So it's just,
It's like he doesn't know how to
interesting.
be a dad. He really wants to be a dad to you.
Right.
But he just doesn't really know because he's all about business. That's why you're very much about business, but then you're like haywired and like,
Yeah.
You're
He's
like
a
about
good-
party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a good criminal dad. You know what I mean? I don't think he was gonna, like win any.
He's a good like crime dad.
Yeah, he's a good crime
You know what I
dad.
mean? Like-
Because I felt like there was a moment that I was so, I mean, shouts out to my neighbors because I was like, oh my God, as soon as Jett, did what she had to do. But there was a moment where I just felt like he was trying to coax it out of you. Like I felt like he knew you had done something wrong to land you in this situation, and he wanted you to tell him. And I felt like there was moments where you were like, no, I'm not going to do that.
But I thought that you kind of wanted him dead. Throughout this whole thing.
That's what I felt. Mm-hmm. I felt like if he was to die, I wouldn't have been bothered.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I would have just like taken over. But then I also felt like then there were so many opportunities that I could have actually gotten him killed.
Right.
So it was like, why am I not just doing that?
Right.
I felt like there was something interesting that you all said, maybe because I've watched all of your episodes. Yeah. So, but there was something I think said, or either I'll just say it, that there was a scene whenever I came in and Giancarlo gives me like a lesser job. My dad gives me a lesser job than the one that I'm like asking for, and I was like, and in that moment, that was to me was like such a moment of like, I want to impress you, but I can't because you don't really trust me. But that's what also made me feel like it's interesting that you all say that that you felt like if Jett was to tell him what she knew, I was like, if I was Charlie. Or, Charles Sr., I was like, I would believe it. Based on everything that Junior has done, I was like, I think I would believe it. But he is but I was like, but he is a parent, so it's like even if he believed it, he still may have not reacted in a way that would have had him to be like, all right, well, Junior, you're out.
Right.
He'd have been like, well, how much did he tell Sal? You know what I mean? Like,
and I think he would say, how do you plan on fixing it?
Right.
Like, that's just how I felt. Like, because even when he's like, all right, who's Josie? Like, just the way he delivered that, I was like, he's like, you know what you did. Just tell me. Yeah. And then you went to him for help. You were like, you told me to come to you first. I'm coming to you first. Like, so there was that moment where I was like, he definitely doesn't like his dad, but he knows his dad can help. But he doesn't want to tell his truth so his dad can help. Like, what is happening right now?
Well, it's like Junior had like messed so many things up that he didn't even know how to like tie it all together at this point. And that's what I felt. I was like, he doesn't even seem to know exactly what he's doing. He's just doing stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he's like purely emotion.
Yeah.
Like reacting purely off of emotion.
Well, and you grew up watching your dad doing all kinds of stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you've been around it. So you kind of know what you're doing, but at the same time, you're not an organized crime guy.
Yeah.
No, because, I mean, even right before, obviously Jett gets up and shoots him, like, he's on the floor just kicking and punching Jackie, which is not, like, it's not strategic in any way. It's like you said, it's just on pure emotion. And so, obviously, I love how we see Jett, like, ducking under the table, and finally she cuts loose. Jackie, what did you think? Did you expect that at all? What did you think she was doing under there?
I was just like, what's she gonna do? The whole time. There's that moment of like, because if she gets up, she's gonna have to reveal that how she knows. Like anything she says right now could end up meaning her life. And then I'm like, what's she gonna do with this little letter opener? How's that gonna work?
I mean, it's
she can right. It so made me think of Vin Diesel in Riddick, where he killed people with a teacup. So I was like, okay, she could probably pull this off. But then there was still that moment. And it was a weird scene for me because I felt like everybody was rooting for Junior in some way, because she was like, Junior, and it was like a mom. Like when someone you've done something wrong, your mom is like, Jackie. Jackie. Like, it was more like, okay, you better tell this man I want to shoot you in the face.
Yeah.
But you didn't. That's
what it felt like too. Like when it was happening, it was just like, Junior, if you don't like pull it together,
right,
you gonna lose it. Your life. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like, and that's what it felt. That's what I remember feeling that way whenever, like, the way that she would say it. You know, that's what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, she did have that motherly Junior.
I didn't expect her to choose to shoot you.
No.
She was about to shoot her first, though.
Yeah, but I mean, but she did it to save Jackie. I didn't expect her to save Jackie at all.
I think she did it, for Jackie, but she did it first and foremost for herself, because when Junior went with his gun, like, the only reaction anybody with like slick moves like her anyways would be to boom.
Yeah.
But she could have avoided that whole situation if she just stayed behind the desk.
But we know Jett can't stay still.
I mean, yeah. But I was surprised that she didn't. Like, the smarter, it would be harder, but the smarter decision would just be to let Jackie die, which he was kind of hoping for.
Yes, but it does make sense because we get the flashback, and I think that sort of, you know, gives
they
us
were
a sort of.
lovers.
They
That's
were,
right.
and I think that she has this weird loyalty to people.
She does,
like even with someone like Jackie, who obviously they've had their ups and downs, but we do get this really interesting flashback about after, you know, a job kind of went wrong, and she's running through the woods, and I really liked seeing that between them, honestly, because I think that informs their relationship a lot about how, you know, she's like, you're not going to shoot me, like, no matter what I do. Either you're going to shoot me no matter what I do, or you're not going to shoot me at all, like, no matter what I do.
I've been saying it from the beginning.
Yeah, you have.
Right? Even last week here, I was just like, I don't know, but I have a feeling that, you know, Jett and Jackie are just gonna wind up together somehow. They're just gonna wind up together.
But I don't think he feels that way about her anymore.
No. I don't think so either. But I just feel like she's definitely a very loyal person, and but she has some sort of feelings for him.
So I was the only one confused by that scene because you just left Hottie McHotterton, who just said, see you in 10 years. And then you go meet Cop and you're like, hey, how you doing? Like, it was
Yeah, but they worked undercover.
Yeah.
They worked undercover on a job
I
before
understand that. But Hottie McHotterton is in the car
But he told her
right
to leave.
now.
But he
I
told her to leave.
understand,
Yeah.
but it was not even 15 minutes later.
Let's understand, viewers, that Jackie has a thing for Quinn.
Yeah,
Okay.
Quentin.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I'm saying it was taking me a lot longer than 15 minutes to get past my man is in the car.
But even, you know, I also agree. I don't think they're gonna end up together romantically, but there is like a sort of intimacy there. Like that's like
There's history.
there's history, and it's more than like just purely platonic. I think it's somewhere like kind of weird, hazy in the middle, because they admit a lot of stuff to each other. Like they talk about what they wanted to be when they grew up, which I don't think is something Jett would just like say very easily to anyone. You know, she's not someone, even in this episode, they're like, she doesn't joke often. She obviously doesn't open up very often either. Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting to see in the flashback. And I think we see that, you know, sort of paralleled in the present day after they, you know, start running away.
It's like they keep saving each other's lives. You know what I mean? She saves him from dying. He saves her from going to prison. So they have
And now
like a
she's
thing
saving
going
him
on.
again.
So is that his daughter? Is Alice his daughter?
I told you
know
last
what
week
I'm
I thought it was his daughter.
Yeah.
She did say
Yeah,
I told you
did.
last week I thought it was
I
his
had
daughter.
it.
Even now with this backstory, it proves it.
I have a funny suspicion.
Oh,
I didn't even think about that, but you guys were so right.
Yeah.
Taylor's always late to the party.
I think so. Like, really?
I thought it was gonna be Quentin, but she's not. The daughter's not mixed.
Yeah.
So
I said, it's Jackie's baby. I was like, no.
Jackie was the only one that looks like it could be like that's what Alice would be. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, this like puts
I
so
know.
much more layers onto this.
I'm just saying they need to have a season 2. Let's
I
get
agree.
real people.
They do need to have a season.
Yes.
Yes.
And then maybe, you know, you'll
Yes.
be right and you're
And
still alive.
I need to be right, please.
Maybe.
Like, you know, Gentry needs to live. He needs to be in a coma for a little
Something,
bit.
yeah.
Something.
A lot of
And come
hospital
back
scenes.
and really be loving of your dad.
Yeah.
Be like, Dad, I love you so
Oh
much.
my
I'm
Right.
so sorry.
predictions.
You have like you forget everything you did.
Right, I'm just like
Right.
an amazing child all of a sudden.
You're a whole new
Yeah.
person.
I love it. Let's do that spinoff. But it is interesting too because we, you know, have Jackie monologuing about how he's lost so many people. He's an alcoholic. His wife has kicked him out of the house, which, like, I'm sorry, finally, it's about time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there was no way that was lasting.
Yeah,
there just
seriously.
was no way.
Yeah, no. She needed to boot him out already.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
But
Better
he
late than never.
finally admitted that he cheated on her.
Oh, because he was going because he thought he was going in to die. That's the
Which
only
was
reason he
interesting.
admitted. He gets no credit for that.
Okay.
Even Jett said it. She's
Fair.
like, oh, so after you,
Right.
like, this is like
Yeah.
your final hurrah. Yeah, okay.
Like, oh, you know what? When you bury me, just know I was cheating on you the whole time, girl.
That's horrible. That almost makes it worse.
It actually
Jeez,
does.
it does
She was
make it
like,
worse.
because even like Jess said, she was like,
That does make it worse.
Yes.
Gosh.
At that
Too
point, you
bad.
say nothing. If you really think you're gonna die,
You wouldn't like come clean with everything.
No, not if my intent was, because you know if you go into that house, you're probably not coming out, right? So no, I'm not gonna say anything to you at that point, because now not only do you have to figure out how to plan a funeral for me. You have to plan a funeral for me knowing that I've been cheating on you for over 3 years.
It's going to be called the shittiest funeral ever.
Yeah, you get a $10. I'd get a box of Coors Light and put you in that box and bury you in the backyard.
Of course.
We have
the Scorpio coming out.
We have a McKenna Phelps online here. They say the timeline does add up. The flashback was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And her daughter is 7.
See?
You guys are right.
So, McKenna, thank you.
And we should be having her hopefully next week here live.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
not that she can see any of the show.
right. The credits, maybe?
This is the beginning
Her
part.
mom told me just her scene, and her mom's name is Jackie too. I'm like, oh my god, who's Jackie?
There's
Jackie.
Everywhere.
That's awesome.
Going to control the world.
Who rules world?
Jackie.
Wow.
Thank you guys for that. We do end on a really interesting note, though. Not only do we have this, continuing the conversation between Jackie and Jett, where I thought it was really, I liked this conversation a lot, because Jackie was like, do you not think that he'll, forgive you for this? And Jett was like, no, I wouldn't if I were in that situation. Tatiana, what did you think she really, kind of meant by that? Do you think she was thinking about her daughter, or do you think she was just putting herself, in his position?
I think when she actually did it, she reacted off of emotion and was just in the moment, so she did it. And I think afterwards, when she finally had time to think about it, she was like, crap, what choice did I make? What did I just do? Because he's a very powerful man, so he could kill her. And then she has 2 people after her, right? She has Bestik, the Russian man, and now she would have Charlie, after her and her family. And Salas. So, she's kind of
odds are not in her favor.
She's kind of John Wicking it right now.
John Wick always makes it through
So does Jett, so I just think everybody's going to be after her.
Well, and we do have, at the end of this episode, she gets a call from Evans and it's like, listen, you don't actually have to do 2 jobs. You just have to do one. But plot twist, that one job is to kill Charlie. And I like that she keeps reiterating. She's like, I am not a killer. I'm a thief. If you want someone to do that, there are plenty of people that I can, put you into contact with. But, this is not going to be me. And so I'm excited to see, kind of what happens with that. We'll get into that more about predictions. But that's pretty much wraps up the plot of this episode. It was so exciting. It was such a great one.
It was the standoff episode.
It was.
Everybody was in the room.
Yep.
So good. Let's get into a little bit of an interview with you, Gentry, because you're here. There's so many things we want to know. I want to know just what was the energy like on set? Because it was so intense. Did you guys have to sort of lighten it up between takes, or did you stay very much in the zone?
It was pretty light.
Yeah.
I'll say. Yeah, it was really light. I think maybe whenever I did this last episode, I think maybe there were moments whenever I'd take a step away just by myself if I knew we were getting ready to start rolling again. Just because to try to stay at that energy level and to stay focused and, make sure I said all the right words and, and make sure you're hitting all the right marks because there's so many people in the room. And I would say it was really easy. This is probably one of the best jobs I think I've ever had as far as energy on set goes, because Carla and Sebastian, I do believe that it has a lot to do with your director. They kind of set the tone of how things on set will be. And it's and if they're really, spastic and erratic and angry or irritated, then I was that trickles down to everybody else and the hair and makeup team, any producers that are on the set and everything. And it's really cool that Carla was producing it, because for her to star in it, the star is very similar to the director as far as setting the tone for how the rest of us kind of feel and everything, because we're just kind of popping in, but she's always there and stuff. But her and Sebastian both were always there. And so they were just the coolest, chillest, easygoing people. I just remember one time, like, Carla, I was sitting down and Carla had some kind of tea and she was like, oh, this is so good. And I was like, oh, what do you have? And she was like, it's like peach something or other. And I was like, oh, I should get some of that. And she's like, oh, I'll go get you some. And I was just like, aww. You a real one, Carla. Go get that tea. Thank you. Yeah.
So safe to say she's not a diva, and I love that because we love her so much.
At all. Like, and that's what was really cool. I feel like I can really go off on some tangents because I was like,
go for it.
Yes. Because like Carla is somebody, you know, going back to the Spy Kids days for me. You know, like I was like, she was Spy Kids mom. That's what, like, me and my cousins to this day, I was like, Spy Kids mom. I was like, y'all, I'm working with Spy Kids mom. You know, like I was like, and you know, it was such a pleasure to meet her, but sometimes you do meet people that you've like looked up to and they aren't as great as you kind of hoped that they would have been. And you know, I do take it like you're meeting people at any point in their life, and so every day isn't the best day, so you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. But Carla, from day one to day none, she was always very like even keeled, pleasant, smiles, and it's because I feel like she was executive producing, but also acting, and she understands what it feels like for the rest of us.
Right.
You know, to come onto a set at different, you know, points in our careers and everything. And I think that she definitely made us all feel, they both did, Sebastian and her, and just the entire team made us all feel like we were a part of something, because outside of the show, we really didn't see one another. You know what I mean? Because this person's shooting with these people all the time. This person's shooting with these people. Like there's people on the show I've never seen in real life.
Right.
Like Alice. Like I was like, you guys will meet her, but I haven't.
Oh, wow.
You know?
That's great. Yeah.
So
That's
stuff like
insane.
that. But we all still felt very like if they had like a cast dinner, it was like they would have two. Because like some people might not have been there one day, and then they would have another one, and
sweet.
you know, little
And
things
this is
like
shot
that.
in Toronto, right?
This was, yeah. Which
so
was
you had to just keep going back and forth.
I was, and it was a great experience. I love Canada. Like if I move outside of the States, it'll be Canada.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Are you a Toronto Raptors fan?
Not particularly.
I had to ask.
Yeah, not particularly.
Kind of, baby.
Yeah, I was like, not particularly. But no, Canada's definitely where it's at. But as far as the energy on set, like Carl and Sebastian made it easy. You know, we didn't have to work too hard. The people they cast were very pleasant as well. So
when you did your scenes, did they allow you to just do what you came into play with, like what you had in mind, and then maybe they would make some adjustments?
Absolutely. That's how Sebastian worked.
Beautiful.
Sebastian is one of the coolest directors that I've had the opportunity to work with, because there is that freedom, and I don't know if it's because he came from only doing movies, because this is his first series. I hope I'm correct. I'm pretty sure.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I read about that, and I also saw their interviews, and they shot it as a movie, as a whole.
Right.
Very cool.
And so even for me as an actor to see myself in something that looked and felt like what Jett does versus the other things that I've done, I was like, it was very different, very exciting, you know. And but Sebastian, it's crazy, you know, because he was so involved with like each person, like down to our clothing. You know, it was like a lot of people noticed that these red like gator shoes that I wore in the show, but it was like Sebastian like made a point about me wearing those shoes in more than one scene, you know, as well. But you know, the colors indicate certain things on the show and that certain people wear, and that's why I like that you were able to hear like the whole chainsaw and the buzzing thing. I was like, everything has a meaning, down to the music, down to our clothing, down to like the way it's shot and everything. It's really special.
Yeah, like even how he uses fruits and plates of food
Yeah,
to
that was the
cover
best.
certain
body parts.
That was the
That's
best shot.
brilliant. Very
I was on
sexy.
your Instagram. Yeah, his Instagram's talking to me. And I saw how important your mom is to you. She's everywhere. You had one specific post that I was like, that's dope. He said, if you guys don't already know, just kind of scroll through my Instagram, you know. But one of the things that you and I talked about when we got here, I was like, you know, you deserve that shot. And you said, my mom said so too.
Right.
Like, how did she feel about your character in this show?
Well, first and foremost, when it comes to like the roles that I take, you know, I'm very mindful. I was like, I don't just do anything, you know, because morally, I was like, I have certain morals that I was like, certain things I'm just not gonna do, you know, unless there's like an overall outcome that I can personally be okay with. And, you know, growing up and acting, you know, my mom has always kind of been there and been very supportive of that. But, you know, if it comes to like nudity or something like that, it's like I'll definitely tell her ahead of time so that she can make the choice if this is something that she wants to watch or not. You know, and because I was like, you need to have that heads up, because I was like, I respect you, and I was like, but my mom also gives me the freedom to be like, you know, you're gonna do things in life, Gentry, that I might not approve of, but this is your life, and you have to do things that make you feel good, and if you feel okay with it, then that's just what you got to go with, and whatever consequences may or may not come from that, that'll be on you. And I'm like, okay. And so, you know, I try, because she respects me at that level, I was like, I try to respect her in the things that I do. And my mom is like literally my best friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she is.
I can tell. If you go on Instagram, you can definitely tell.
I think she's watching this right now.
Hey, Mom.
Out of all the interviews I watched with you, I said, oh my goodness, what a close relationship you have with your mom. It's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah, she's an important person to me. She, like, to me, I think she's the most, to me, I think she's like one of the most perfect people I've ever met in my life.
God bless.
Your mom's crying right now.
Yeah, she should be. Mom, you should be crying. Like, we're very close, and I wouldn't have been able to even get to this point in my career without her. So, and I'm very mindful, you know, she's a single parent, and so I'm very mindful of the efforts that she put in to just help me to get here, you know. And I was telling you guys a little bit about me having not gone to college, but her having saved money from my college, and then she helped me live here in LA for the first year with that money from college, because it was like, you know, Mom, if I do this, and I would like kind of give her like a breakdown and a diagram, and I was like, if we do this by this date, then we should be able to get, you know. And it was like, but because she like trusts my judgment, and I think I've been a pretty okay kid, you know, then I was like, we worked together really well in that sense. So
she did a good job.
She did a really good job.
Well, thank you.
She did a great job.
We're starting to run short on time, but Jackie, you have some news for us that you want to share.
I do. So, season 1 ratings, the first season of Jett is averaging a 0.02 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, and 129,000 viewers. Learn how Jett stacks up against the other Cinemax TV shows. Cinemax TV shows typically attract very low ratings because the cable channel doesn't sell commercial time, so the programmers are more interested in satisfying the subscribers. So keep subscribing to Cinemax.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We did.
Yeah, I didn't cancel my subscription.
We were going to. We were like, we're just going to watch a couple episodes and cancel. But you pulled us in.
Gotcha.
And but they're doing great on Rotten Tomatoes. Jett season 1 holds a score of a 7.5 out of 10 and a 91% approval rating from the critics.
Awesome.
And on Metacritic, the statistics were not so impressive, but yet acceptable, with the score of a 65 out of 100. Don't worry about, we're going to change all that. IMDb, the viewers' consensus seems that it's above average, with a rating of 6.7 out of 10. So summing it all up, the data does really look really well, and it tends to believe that Jett has a good chance for another round of Cinemax. Network would really likely renew the crime drama series for season 2. Let's stay tuned for more. And thank you to tvseriesfinale.com for all the information in IMDb.
Yes, thank
Season
you.
2, let's go.
We will see a season 2.
Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. I do want to do some quick predictions, just because next week's our last episode. Tatiana, quick predictions.
TV predictions.
Why you always start with me? You always start with me.
Because you're on the end. You gotta bring it all in.
Bring it all in.
I think that gosh, this is really difficult. I think that Junior's dead. Sorry, Jackie. Really
That
do.
was a little easy. I need you to come with something now.
Slow hanging fruit.
I think that Phoenix and Morea and Jett are going to escape the wrath of Bestick and Charlie. And but I do think that she's going to have to end up killing Charlie in the end, because Bestick is going to hold her daughter hostage.
Okay.
Okay, here's my predictions, because I want season 2. There's no way that Charlie's gonna die. And there's no way, I am just not convinced. I know it looks really good, special effects, all that stuff. It looks really real. Your acting was brilliant. He's not dead. He's in a coma. That is just my wish list. So, because I need season 2 to happen. I don't want this to end. And I feel that Jett and the girls are going to have to leave to a whole nother location because they're like running from all these little demonic Salas. And then Charles is like, dude, you just shot my son. So that's kind of my prediction right there. And Jackie, you're a hot mess. Poppy. You're a hot mess.
I was like, which Jackie we talking about?
There's a lot of Jackies out here.
Baby Jackie is just gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen with Jackie. I don't think he's gonna die right away though. He's like running for his life or something. That's my predictions.
I think that Jett is going to end up killing Charlie. I think that how Bestick is going to talk her into it is Quinn is still alive. And that is, I'm sorry, he's alive. And that is going to be, but the reason why I think there's going to be a season 2, even if Charlie dies, is because now she's going to be on the hook with Bestick, because I feel like he's going to shield her from this killing. And I think whatever he's going to present to her is not going to be why she kills Charlie. She's going to end up killing Charlie to save her family. Because I feel like Charlie really did love his son. Although he wasn't the father of the year, I feel like he loved his son, and now he's going to want Jett to feel that pain. And so I feel like she's going to have to do a preemptive strike against that. So she's going to have to kill him. And I think the reason why season 2 exists is because she's going to try to get away from Bestick, and now she has to deal with Salas as well.
So you think Charlie is going to come after Alice?
Yeah.
I think someone's coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually how it goes. An eye for an eye, like a kid for a kid. I mean, I'm a single mom. God bless your mom. So I totally, wepa. But if my son, oh my God, dude, I'm going to go after your kid.
Yeah, that's the pain of that. And again, because, when there was that moment, that eye blink, that eye blink was perfect because there was like, that his heart broke because his son was dead. He does love Jett in a way, and then she just walks up to him and say, I'm sorry, because she knows what it means. So there's somewhere in her head she knows that there's one way out of this, and that's Charlie dying. And like I said, I think that the season 2 still exists because he's not the only bad guy in the world. Right. So,
I agree. I also think that Morea might die. I don't know. I feel like her sickness is getting worse. I just want to know someone else is going to go before this is done, I think.
I think she's going to go naturally, though.
Hopefully.
I still want to know what that dream that she had, what that has to do. I think that's going to play out in this next episode.
Well, maybe because they have so much money. Who knows? I mean, some kind of miracle. For Morea.
We will see.
Oh, yeah, that would be dope.
That would be dope, yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us. Gentry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So much fun. As always, we want to keep that conversation going. So where can everyone find you guys on social media?
I'm at Tatiana Mariesa on all social media platforms.
And I'm Jackie Nova 7 all social media, and you can go to oxfilms.us because my feature film action suspense thriller comes out this fall called Heart of Deception.
Nice.
It's a Richard Ryan film. Check it out, baby. Oxfilm.us.
See, that's why she got the diva glasses on. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRay the Fanatic.
Awesome. Gentry, where can they find you?
At Gentry White on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. And you guys can find me on Twitter at alphabet_and on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. And we will see you next week for the season 1 finale, Jet Setters. See ya.
Bye. See you later.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to Afterbuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterbuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.